What happens when you can't help but making a trading mistake? Well, there's a tug of war between your logical mind, the one that tells you that following your rules and your trading goals is the right way to go, and your monkey mind, or your instinctive mind, that sees a certain event, a certain market event as a threat, and does everything to avoid it or to fight it to protect your survival. There are certain things that your monkey mind can accept and deal with, and there are others, however, that they are unacceptable, unbearable, intolerable. And the things that are unacceptable to your monkey mind, they got defined at a very young age, in your early years. So, for some, embarrassment is something that's unacceptable, or the feeling of inadequacy, or even the most common one, the one that I encounter the most, the fear of failure, or the fear of being wrong, or the fear of making mistakes. So, from a young age, we define and label certain feelings as unacceptable. What happens here is that we're rejecting ourselves when we feel those emotions. When everything's all right and we feel positive emotions, we are able to be in agreement with who you are. But when that emotion kicks in, or whenever there's a situation that we see as potentially threatening to triggering that unacceptable emotion, we will avoid that. We will fight that. We will avoid confrontation. So the guy who can't tolerate embarrassment is probably gonna stay away from public speaking. The woman who sees failure as something unavoidable, she's probably a great problem solver, but she will avoid all those situations that she cannot control certain variables to avoid that feeling of failure. Now, the important thing here is that, well, you bring these unacceptable feelings with you to the markets. So, for example, when a trader is trying to catch a move, it's not really about catching that move or making those profits. Is what that move says about his capacity. So if he perceives himself as a failure by having missed that move, then it's that feeling of failure you will try to avoid. And that's exactly what makes that move so intolerable, so unacceptable to miss. In this sense, and as Van Tharp tells us, we are not trading the markets. We are trading our perception of the markets. I work with many traders on reshaping perception at this level, and these are the typical conflicts that we see over and over again. It's like they enter this self-sabotaging cycle. So if you are ready, fully committed, and interested in reshaping some of the beliefs that have been unproductive to you in your trading, then I'll leave the one-on-one coaching program below so you can have a look. And so oftentimes what happens is that you hop on a trading session, you start trading the markets, but then you deviate from it and you start to trade your emotions of the markets. And this is exactly that time where you want to become aware of it, take a break, execute that emotional management routine that we talked about in a previous post. I'll leave the link below, by the way. And then reframe things and perhaps come back with your mental edge in full mode. But for now, I have a small challenge for you that you can execute in the next trading sessions. And that is every time you're faced with a stressful emotion, an emotion where you feel that you need to fight or flight, right? The fight or flight response. Some of us, we have a tendency to avoid confrontation or exitate. That would be the flight response, sorry. Others of us, we like to fight the threat, revenge trade, impulsive trade, right? And so identify what is the emotion that you're trying to fight or run away from. So maybe if you make an impulsive trade, maybe you're running away from the feeling of failure. Maybe if the market is inactive, slow markets, not a lot of setups available, and you make a trade that's outside of your strategy, you're running away from the boredom. If you are hesitating to pull the trigger on valid setups, maybe you are afraid to making a mistake. And then take this emotion and ask yourself, what is the driver? What is the belief that's making you fear this situation that's making you cope the way you've been coping? What is it about the emotion or the feeling that it makes it so uncomfortable, so unbearable? This is the exact feeling that you need to sit with to pass on to the next development as a trader. And often you will quickly realize that it's not even about the market, it's something, a past experience, that shaped your perception in a way to see that emotion in that unacceptable scenario. Change happens with new emotional experience. So when you understand that most of your emotions and behaviors are not about the market, but about past experience, you are able to remove the threat element. You stop seeing the markets as a personal attack, and you're able to distancing yourself from that emotion and seeing it for what really is. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Peaceful trading, Sarah. If you are enjoying these videos, you will love the High Performing Trader newsletter. I drop 2 newsletters each week, a free version and a paid version. Both are super useful for your development as a trader. So if you are fully committed in becoming a better emotional management, a better trader, and a better you, I'd highly recommend you go to the link below in the description and subscribe as fast as possible. Peaceful trading, Sarah.